Hey everybody, it's Bust with Expedition Trial number 395. Let's see what shows up. Oh man, we dropped under 250,000 shards. We're gonna have to come out here and do some more winning. But let's see what shows up anyways. And so yeah, it's been a while since we've drafted Zilean. I feel pretty good about starting with this, even though it's got some real garbage in here like time in a bottle. But let's see how this goes. And so, as far as the rest of these packs go, if you are shooting for your 7 winner, I would highly recommend this Malefic Descent Shyvana. We've done quite a bit of complaining about these card pools here recently, and these just came out right out the gates way too strong. They just way overtuned both Malefic Descent and the Action card pool, and so it is the strongest choice that you would have access to here. But nonetheless, we're going to be over here drafting Zilean with the Time Lords, and so we'll get this pulled up on the site. If you're not familiar with it, we're just over here at ftpbus.com. We're just going to be on the main page or the little expedition helper button. We'll just scroll down to the bottom of this little drop down box because we've got to scroll to the bottom of the drop down box to get to Zilean and take a peek at what we're working with here. And so yeah, this Zilean, he pairs up with Echo, and kind of this is meant to be the predict build around, and so you level up Echo with predicts. You can use predicts to put forth like the Kyrie and Sump Workers, and that's really all that's going on here. Like within the Shurima half of this, it's like not a real big payoff. Like you can use Kahiri the Student to get a bit of a bonus. You can try and predict up Kahiri the Returned, or you can play Xenotype Researchers, shuffle some units into your deck, and then try to put those +3/+3 units on top. And so I don't feel like that's like really enough payoff to just be like, okay, I'm gonna hardcore go after these predict cards. That's not to say that Kahiri the Student and Xenotype Researchers aren't fantastic cards. These are excellent cards. I'm just trying to say, hey, don't try and draft 15 predict cards because it's not really worth it. And so this is kind of the core of the meaty Shurima units, if you will. And so these units all play fantastically with predicts. The thing I like to try and pursue with Zilean is putting together things with like the Chronomancer, or not Chronomancer, the Allegiance card, the one that draws a champion out of your deck and gives it +2/+2. Because making a 3/6 for 2 mana is a pretty good deal. And so, long story short, we're gonna have to like try and find an additional strategy to do with this. It has reasonable value with things like the Preservarium, has really good early game units, but then it just doesn't have very much else going on with it. And so we'll see what we can do. I really don't like chasing down this predict theme or this landmark advancing theme. So hopefully we don't get stuck with Talia here, but we'll see how this plays out. Okay, interesting set of choices here. And so there's actually two different ways that we could look at this. Well, I guess we'll have to say three because there's three choices here. The one that I would immediately dismiss is this Leona. We're not going to get any real combos with her out of this Zilean. If we take this Leona, this would just be devolving into a Leona build around, and so that's nothing wrong with that. Leona is quite strong, but I don't think that's an interesting way to try and take advantage of this Zilean. So there are, the two other things here that I was looking to go towards are we have the Rek'Sai. Whenever it comes to drafting Lurkers, I highly recommend not having Bilgewater in your deck. And so I think, oh no, it's the other Bilgewater one pairs with, does the other one pair with Zilean? I can't remember. But at any rate, as far as the Lurkers card pools are concerned, the good cards all live in Shurima. And so on the Shurima half of the Lurkers card pool, you're going to have Call the Pack, which is one of the highest quality value cards. You'll have the 2/3 Predict for 3, which is extremely important in hitting your lurks. It comes along with a 1-drop that can attack on the first turn and not be blocked. And then it has the late game cards that you need to close out the game in both the Zersai Dunebreaker and then Over Titan, or whatever the epic one is called. And so kind of like the big problem you run into with Lurkers is you make this really big investment in small units, but they don't have any health. And so, it doesn't matter if you have like an 8 2 1-drop, it's still just going to trade with your opponent's 2-drop. And so you make that big investment, but then you can't really get any payoff for it. Then the payoff is like these Doombreakers and the Over Titans to close out the games with the Overwhelms. And so this is a good pairing with Zilean and Rek'Sai. This does allow us to just kind of stay away from Bilgewater, be in this big mono Shurima deck. Both Zilean and Rek'Sai are happy to have Golden Ambassadors allegiancing the +2/+2s. They're both also pretty happy with Siphoning Strikes. And so all of the cards that, make us happy to be playing Zilean are also things that are pretty happy for Rek'Sai. And so this is a reasonable choice. The other choice here being Echo. This is the partner pairing to the Zilean card pool. As you can imagine, kind of the idea here is you play the Kyrie and Sumpworker, and then you're like, oh man, I need to find a second one. How's the easy way to find a second one? That would be with Predicts. And so you would have the Sumpworker. Echo loves Predicts as well. That's how he gets his level up. But kind of the problem I have with this style of deck is we talk about this on occasion as to where if there is one specific card we're trying to build around, which would be Kyrie and Sumpworker, then you don't want your partner pairing to be showing up in your draft packs. And so this is a Shurima Piltover pack. Again, this is Zilean and Echo together. And so if our core strategy is going to be acquire every single Kyrie and Sumpworker that we can, then in our future packs, say in pick 3 here, we have a Time Lords pack show up and it's just all Shurima. Then we have no chance of hitting a Kyrie and Sumpworker because that's just, it's not in the right faction. And so I don't really like drafting Zilean and Echo together if we're going to try and build around the Sumpworker. And so if the Sumpworker wasn't here, maybe we could try and avoid it, or if we only end up with like 2 or 3 of them, we could try to avoid it that way. But that's not a strategy I really like to pursue. And so I think this is a long story in saying why I don't like drafting Echo with Piltover. Or I'm sorry, Echo with Shurima, very much in the same sense where I don't like drafting Rek'Sai with Bilgewater. And so we are going to draft this Rek'Sai here. Let's switch over to the site. We've hit most of the highlights, but I'll just illustrate here real quickly what we're talking about. You can see this is a very, very, very small card pool. All of these commons are super high quality, and so whenever a Shurima or whenever a Lurkers pack comes up, we should be extremely likely to be seeing these Call the Packs, Xerxai Collars, and Xerxai Hatchlings. Like if you want to take a peek at something like let's see, one of these pools should be fairly big. It's a lot. Here we go. We can pull up like Callistas. You can see how big this card pool is, and your chances of hitting very specific cards are kind of small compared to this. Compared to this Rek'Sai, where there's only 4 commons that you can be choosing from. And so, again, this hits all of the highlights that we need for Lurkers to be successful. Has the Hatchling as a turn 1 play, has a Lurker with Predict, and then it has the Call the Pack to where we can guarantee we get a Lurk by putting a unit on top of our deck while putting 2 more Lurkers in our hand. Then, again, how do we close out these games? It's going to be with the Doombreaker and with the Under Titan. And so, very compact card pool. It's quite good to have the selection that we can get here. Okay, so again, we're going to 100% avoid this Bilgewater cards. The Ruined Rex is okay, but we don't want these Lurkers packs to have any Bilgewater in it. We have those 4 commons that we're pretty excited to find. We don't want to be finding things like the I can't remember the name. I really don't like the card. It's the 0/2 for 2 that gets a free attack, and then the Blood Sport or whatever that puts them on top of your deck. We do not want those cards showing up here. So we're going to Call the Pack. Chrono Shift is a piece of hot garbage. This card is just complete trash. So we are getting stuck with a very low quality card here, but the Call the Pack is just completely worth it. This card is so extremely good. Okay, another round of the same thing. Bloodbait. This was the card that. Thanks for the illustration. Here's the Bloodbait that we don't want, and the Stepjaw Swarm that we don't want. Again, we just do not want these Bilgewater cards showing up. So this is a pretty easy Chronomancer with a Soothsayer. The Soothsayer is not very good. This is another extremely low quality card, but Chronomancers are excellent early game plays, and these will also allow us. Say it's turn 3 and we don't have the 3-cost Predict, maybe we'll get to play a 1 and we'll get to play a Chronomancer and still keep our strategy going. Okay, here's the easy stuff. Got a double Lurker with the Hatchling and the Collar. Easy peasy. I am okay with picking up Ruin Runners. We do need a bit of late game in these decks, but things like Kahiri are not wanted. Xenotype Researchers are okay, though they're quite powerful. Okay, another fairly easy set. I'm not a huge fan of getting a big stack of Weight of Judgments, but it's going to be kind of like the only removal we can reliably find. And so we would like to have a Siphoning Strike or two. We definitely want to find some vulnerable giving cards, but this is okay to be taking this little value stack. Doomkeeper just doesn't have a place in a deck like this. Okay, they continue. Let's see if we can't get like 6 or 7 Weight of Judgments. But we can't pass on the Hatchling. We know these Judgments will show up quite a bit since we are so heavily stacked into the Lurkers pack. Okay, well, we are going to have to find some kind of late game here, so I'm not going to let this Ruin Runner get away from us. Again, we would prefer to be having the Lurkers with Overwhelm, but Ruin Runner is still just an incredibly high quality card. There he is. As soon as we start talking about him, he makes an appearance. This is exactly what we need here. I like to have like 4 or 5 of these late game cards between ideally the Doombreakers of the Under Titans, but then Ruin Runner is also more than okay. Okay, so we come across a pack that doesn't have a lurker in it. So what are we supposed to do now? With this, I'm just going to take the interactive package in the Quicksand Hourglass. We do need some kind of way to be dealing with like actions, and Quicksand is about as good as it's getting here. We haven't seen any vulnerable cards, so we're going to have to fall back to Quicksand, it seems. Okay, another great set with the Doombreaker and the Collar. It is exactly what we're looking for here. All right. We can let this Doombreaker go. our top end count here is looking pretty good with the 3 Doombreakers and the Ruin Runner. Now down here we have an Exhaust and a Siphoning Strike. Just really flesh out our interactive package. It's quite a great pickup here. Okay, then back to some turds. I'm not like completely opposed to Feral Prescience. It's okay. Like in a pinch, if you need to kind of guarantee that you hit a lurk, I know that you can't guarantee it with this, but it does work out okay in that sense. Out of all of these, I'm really looking towards this Ancient Preparations, but we have absolutely no usage for Time in a Bottle. So what is this, Weight of Judgment number 4? Certainly is. Okay, well, it looks like we're going to get Weight of Judgment number 5 because we've got Call the Pack here. Just another big-time spell that we can't be passing on. This will be our 3rd one. Okay, and so, not really looking to pick up any more Weight of Judgments, although I would be super happy to trade out Time in a Bottle. I'm leaning towards just picking up the Spirit Fire here because I won't trade out Quicksand either. And I think this is okay. The Time in a Bottle is just going to have to be an expensive predict, I think. Okay, so let's jump out here. As you know, we got to go and turn something premium, and I'm pretty sure our commons are all done as far as the units are concerned, and so we might be pushing ourselves up to a rare here today. Oh, Treasure Seeker, yeah, you didn't make the deck. What else do we got? Oh man, we can level up Time in a Bottle or Quicksand. All right, Quicksand is at least a playable card. We're going to be pushing this Time in a Bottle out of our deck as quickly as we can. So let's pick up the good combat trick here. Alrighty, and dive on in. Yeah, this is a pretty decent Lurkers deck. All of this really came together. We need to focus a bit on our early game, and then we need to kind of trade out some of these things like Weight of Judgment. We just have like too much slow stuff at the top end. But this is definitely a real strong core to a 7 winning deck. So here, we'll definitely hang on to Rek'Sai if we can, pick up a Call the Pack. It's a fantastic unit to just shove to the top of our deck. And so let's see how this plays out. Man, we got double premium champions today. Whew. This is it. Saddle up, get the roller coaster ready. Okay, but then we are playing against Hecarim Azir. This should be a like Emperor's Diaz / Shark Chariot deck. That's what I have to imagine is going to be coming out of here. We'll see what they present. Here, I'm not gonna drop this Zilean. It's very easy for opponents to have no unit, in which case we're good to just attack, or they'll have like a 2/3 and at least want to get a couple of damage on it. It would take us 3 turns to kill the 2/3 ephemeral boosting unit with a Zilean, where we can stop it from attacking next turn with the Chronomancer. But we hit our Lurker, and so it's not the super ideal unit to be putting on top of our deck since it's kind of expensive, but we do need to be hitting our Lurks as consistently as possible. And so we'll definitely be hitting a Lurk this turn. Okay. I was afraid they might have dropped their phone in the toilet. Looks like they've got it back together. And okay. All right, I'm happy enough to just trade out for the Stirred Spirits. So let's add Zilean. He's a great blocker onto the Cursed Keeper. And then we're not really looking for a Lurk here. We're looking for a cheap unit to put on top of our deck. So it could be either Quicksand or Time Bomb. Quicksand doesn't work against Cursed Keeper because we don't have the mana. It doesn't cancel Last Breaths anyways. I don't think cancels Last Breaths. I can't remember on that, but the Time Bomb's a reasonable pickup here. Not super worried about making Zilean hang around either. So if he gets a combat trick, this is completely fine. His unit's going to die anyways, so this is just going to end with them having the Abomination. Oh, Lurks. It's a little unfortunate. Let's just put Exhaust on top, and I think we want to might want to just Time in a Bottle. I mean, we do have the Time Bomb combo for Time in a Bottle. We can't say that it does absolutely nothing here. And the Inspired Marshal does kind of work with Rek'Sai in the sense that if you play her the turn that you're going to attack with her, then she gets the +2 attack. But this hand is slightly awkward. I think we just want to go ahead and Time in a Bottle and try and find another Lurker. Didn't find it, but we can pick up the Ruin Runner here. Little awkward. Couldn't play around. I was gonna say they had a bunch of 1-drops. We couldn't have played around them anyways, since they'll all have like if he plays a oh, what's it called? Haunted Relic. We couldn't say Time Bomb down all the Haunted Relic cards. Okay. Interesting in picking up Call the Pack. I think the Doombreaker is still just good enough to get into combat here. It can be awkward if they drop a bunch of ephemerals onto the board. We might just want to attack with the Doombreaker only, but at least we can overwhelm through them if that's what it comes down to. Okay. Well, that'll shut down our attack. Curious if they'll have a way to sacrifice this. Sure do. That's fine. We just like fall behind a little bit on tempo on that. It's not like they get ahead on cards by they basically just traded their possession for our unit. Beautiful, beautiful. Figure out how close this Rek'Sai is. If we start adding Inspired Marshals, how close the Rek'Sai will be. It's going to take her a couple of turns before we can get that ability going. So I'm just going to add the Marshal here. It's still a fine block onto the Soul Shepherd. Have to assume that they probably don't have another unit here, and we're good to just take 6 from the Tomb. Okay, it's a little bit more dangerous than I'd have liked, but definitely more dangerous than I'd have liked. Nothing we can do about that. Okay, we're just gonna get domed. How much is this? 15. The downside's we can't lethal him next turn. Okay. Oh, that was bad. We probably should have got a block in with the Inspired Marshal. That was a little sloppy. Prevent just a piece of that damage because we're not going to be able to get fully wide here. Double Time Bomb. That's kind of interesting. I think I do like this. Like it less now. Wow, Andy had a value card. Must be nice. All right, so we gotta do a little bit of pivoting here. So how does this work with Rek'Sai? So let's say we have to get an attack in here, but we can safely attack with the Inspired Marshal. We put Rek'Sai on top. That's going to make her up to a 7. So we can try and get a Rek'Sai kill as long as she doesn't die next turn. And then we can also potentially hit some of the 1-cost Lurkers. Okay. We got to try and get this big Overwhelm attack in next turn. And not have our Inspired Marshal die. Okay. This might be too much for us. I really don't want to have to drop a Rek'Sai on the board. We know our top card's Time Bomb. Okay, that's not lethal. But we have... Oh, forgot this big boy's coming down here on the end. Gross. Yeah, I think this one's probably done. Alright, let's see if we can't do anything this way. Another thing we might be able to do is just get kind of the double lurk going, and if we get a Rek'Sai and we get a Rek'Sai and a big, like another Overwhelm off of her flip. Oh, she has to attack before she flips though. Alright, well, one-time dealer. Missed. But even if he blocks, we'll still kill his unit with the Time Bomb. I hate this stupid card. Just, how high do you want to see if you can roll today? Oh, and the deck tracker does not like this. It says we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards left in our deck. Apparently we have 20. Something's not right there. We haven't drawn a single Dunebreaker this game. Okay. The big decision was made. So we can't even flip our Rek'Sai this turn. We might be able to get a Chrono Shift. This is not looking good. I guess we'll definitely get a Chrono Shift. Alright, so we got to pick up some 1s. Damn. That was our chance. If we picked up a couple 1-drops, and we could get some width here, but not gonna do it with these turds. Maybe he'll get like ultra greedy and we can get a big jawfish or something, but I would assume that he's just gonna open attack on us. Most certainly gonna open attack on us now. Damn. So close to recovery. Uh-oh. Do dumb stuff. Come on, my man. Do dumb stuff. always the hope and the dream. There's the chance. Bring up the Bring up the Dumb and Dumber meme. There is a chance. Uh-oh. Oh, damn. Hecker. Well, if we kill Hecarim here, we might actually win this game. We got 2 shots at it. The fish is a 7. Here we go. Here we go. One time. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. And so now he has to play another unit, and if he doesn't play a unit, then we can Weight of Judgment. If he does add a unit, we can Weight of Judgment something. Ooh. Nice. Now, granted, I shouldn't say that that was dumb. There are ways that that would have been problematic, like if we had a removal spell in the middle of combat or something. But cool, we got through that one. And here we go. We're going to continue to stack our Rek'Sais. Cool. What up, kitty? Oh, gosh. A different kitty hanging out today. Feels like her paws are wet, which is a real treat. Just thank you for that. All right. Play against some action. I was hoping we'd get to play against him 4 or 5 times today. And so let's see. Dude, I don't think we need to hang on to Weight of Judgment. We have a million of them. It's like I'm not like super worried about taking down action at that stage of the game. So let's just cycle it away. Then we shouldn't have like too much trouble predicting into Weight of Judgment if we really need it. Get him? Nice. Them's the good pets, kitty, I know. Alright, so again, we don't necessarily need this one to be a lurk, since we're just going to draw it. A Chronomancer is a good draw. Now, how much do we worry about this action? Like, do we want to go ahead and try and pull out the combat trick? Or would we rather... I think this is safe. I'm fine enough with trading the Chronomancer for a shaped stone. Now the question comes down to, like, do we just want to exhaust here? And I think I'm pretty okay with that. If he doesn't have another trick, then our unit just survives this. Do we just call the pack? Call the pack? Not sure if it matters. You're right, this is pretty juicy if he doesn't have another trick, and the trick should probably just be a trade and not a win. Nice. So we can here, since we have Call the Pack, we can actually get a good attack with this dum-dum of a unit. So... Beautiful. Love seeing them spend 4 mana to ace our 1-drop. Alright, well, let's do this. Let's start with the hatchling, just in case we want to play Weight of Judgment on something. That's something enough. I'm going to say I'd prefer to just be getting like an attack in. If we can just trade, I'd rather trade as opposed to spend the removal spell, but didn't get the choice. Wow, not even strong enough to trade with our 1-drop. I'm sorry, bro. What are we thinking here? I don't think it matters because we're planning on predicting again, but let's just put the removal spell on top. If he's going to keep up this game of just playing one expensive dude every turn, then our big removal spell should be quite good here. Okay. Scrying Sands is cheap, but then this is a Rek'Sai. Um, can we just lethal with the Doombreaker though? I think well, the Scrying Sands isn't going to be enough to like win a combat against the Sand Spinner. So let's just pick up the Doombreaker. What you got? They can do some stuff. I think I might feel better if they just try to do the predict draw. I guess they could put a Sandstone Charger on the board. There's a good chance that we just can't lethal this turn. Oh, the predict draw. Okay. Back to feeling a little better about it. Kitty just giving me them tippy taps right to the chest piece. Jesus. All right, we missed our lurk, but they're going to have a spell to get out of this. Block onto the Doombreaker is not very good. Got him. Got him, girl. Cool. Alrighty, so what are we doing here? Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Trading out time in a bottle for the 1-drop. Perfect. Okay, you're looking strong. Oof. Hydrate, get ready. Alright, I'm ready now. Good to go. Get in that desert with all these Sherma folk. You gotta stay hydrated. Right. What do we got here? A little bit of Sivir, a little bit of Garen, a little bit of Darius. So just give me all the champions. Come on, girl. Oh, want to meow at me? Okay, so it's like I'm tempted to throw away Rek'Sai because I would like to find one of these one cost or even a 2 like Aspiring Chronomancer, but I think our chances of hitting those are just too low. So reasonable enough just to hang on to the 3 drops. I mean, it's tough with Rek'Sai. I think we should probably mulligan these Rek'Sais. Maybe if we had like a 1-drop and call the pack, then we could keep her. But it's like, okay, well, it's just going to sit in my hand forever. And if I don't draw call the pack, then I'm not going to actually play her. And so, yeah, I like that keep less and less the more that we talk about it. Well, we found the call the packs though. So that's one way to do it. Oh my goodness, kitty. Welcome back. Welcome back, girl. Get comfy. Okay, so I expect this Chronomancer is not long for the world. I'd say she's going to get umbrellaed into Honored Lord, but we'll see. Or if not that, umbrellaed into a quick attacker or something. That doesn't seem like we should be super likely to get a lot going this turn. Whoa, beautiful. Block. Okay. Definitely block. Most certainly block. Okay, so what are we thinking here? Like, we should be safe to just add the collar, right? Because next turn we're just going to call the pack Rek'Sai. Perfect. 1-drop. All right, so let's start with the call the pack. I want to see which lurkers we pick up. Wow, certainly picked up the expensive ones. Right. Got the expensive lurkers, kitty. Oof. Ugh, the struggle. The struggle. No wonder, I mean, their draw's been quite awkward. I'm curious if they're just holding on to like Sivir. You're right. This isn't a board that you're like really excited about adding Sivir to. She'd be pretty good next turn with a quick attack challenge, but this turn, not that exciting. As expected. And I think we want to bank mana here. We got this Weight of Judgment and the Siphoning Strike that we'd like to play. I do worry again that this is going to be a quick attack challenger Sivir that's coming down, but Swiftling Lancer is manageable. How bad is this if we pass and then they just send it back to us? That's problem one. Problem two is if like I really want to get this Siphoning Strike down, but may not be a possibility. So this is a little dangerous with the pass. I have to assume that they're going to not want to send the Swiftling Lancer into our unit, but I think this is still okay. We'll get it here. We got the call to pack for Rek'Sai again. I can't block. I did the did the mathematics on that one. Gotta play something. Like this feels like I thought Concerted Strike might be the potential outcome here, given that the 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 Dragon Chow doesn't deal any damage. Okay, we're getting big here now. He's gonna have to trade the Lancer for a hatchling. Okay. He is running out of cards. This is perfectly fine. We'll have a flipped Rek'Sai on our next attack. I believe, right? He's an 8. No, we have to hit the Lurk to do it. That kind of sucks. We could also potentially get a Siphoning Strike for Rek'Sai, but... I'm sorry, my man. I shouldn't be laughing at your misfortunes, but it seems like nothing about this game has gone your way. Alright, are we being overly clever by adding Rek'Sai? I mean, the thing with like the stupid fish is your lurkers can hit the same unit. So I think we should just try to get a Siphoning Strike here. Good chance it's successful. Give champions spell shield. Okay. Just continues to be awkward. Uh-oh, bringing it. Tap out. Tap out for something irrelevant. That's one of my favorite things to say in these spots. Tap out for something irrelevant. All right, Rek'Sai's ready to party now. Your hook is no good. Yep. All the cards, all the fishes and everything. Okay. Sure. All right, all right. I think this one is probably done. I think it's fairly safe to say this one's done. Emote it. All right. Uh-oh, didn't get there in time. You got to stop and think about which emotes you're going to use, and that catches me off guard on occasion. Alrighty, so yeah, we want to just take this other Rek'Sai, and wow, these are some pretty bad champion packs. Double Spirit Fire with Zilean. I've never seen this before, but I've been picking up an Under Titan, and so as it stands, after we get these cards picked up, as far as our early game goes, I'm happy with pretty much all of these cards except Soothsayer. That one can go. As far as our late game goes, this is where things start getting out of hand. We'd like to trade out about like 3 or 4 of these Weight of Judgments. We could trade out Inspired Marshal. Definitely want to trade out both of our Chrono Shifts. So we definitely have some potential to get some good trades and really upgrade. But as it stands, I mean, our deck is fine. This is certainly capable of putting in the work needed to get to 7 wins. Okay. Alrighty, we'll hang on to the 1-drop. Weight of Judgments are kind of interesting against LeBlanc, but we have 6 of them. It's I think we can probably find them if we need them. Speaking of the devil. Alright, and I'll trade if he wants to attack here. We got another one of these hatchlings coming down next turn, and his unit can block a fearsome. So let's just go ahead and get that dumb out of here. Get him! Hit it! Dang! Nothing about this game is looking good. There's these interesting Weight of Judgments. We caught down the interestingness against LeBlanc. Now this is a slightly scary event, given that we don't really have any units to play here. So play. This is a spend 4 mana on a unit we can kill, please. Chose not to. All right, this is brutal. Alright, at least we hit the Lurk. And hey, Renekton can't get his bonuses if he can't, if he can't hit any units on the board. So next level plays coming from FTP Bust. You heard it here first. Okay, we got the 2 mana here, so if we can hit another Lurker, then we can make some good things happen with the Doombreaker. Did not, but he still got a good attack on this board. No longer has a good attack. We would have hit. It's okay. No, thank you. Can we do it? Is it too dangerous? Is there too much danger involved in this play? We can. The only combat trick that should get him out is Shape Stone. Beautiful, beautiful. That's the stuff right there. All right, dude. Well, you're out of effing champions. You can't, you can't do that stuff anymore. Okay. Oh, I still got Darius. My bad. We only dealt with 3 of his champions. All right. Well, none of these are Lurkers, so we're gonna have to call the pack here. What would we probably rather just pick up Weight of Judgment as our next draw? Are any of you interesting? This is somewhat interesting. So let's just keep attacking this turn. Okay. This is a big boy. Ugh. You're about to get blasted. Yep. You can get a good board out of this, though. Okay. Uh-oh, thinking about playing as one card. What's your one card, my man? Now, the sucky thing here is picking up something like Call the Pack is not ideal. I think we want to make this singular attack. Our hatchling can trade with the Trifarian, and we can hopefully Weight of Judgment. You know, maybe he'll spend 10 mana on a on a unit that we can kill like this. Okay, I won't risk an open attack though. We got to go ahead and try and take this thing down. It seems like that was that kind of greedy from Ga. I mean, this is a lethal Bloodthirsty Marauder if he attacks with it next turn. I guess he can't lethal with the Gatecrasher or whatever that thing's called. This is scary. Okay. We could technically like exhaust the Marauder, but okay, well, I don't think we can get out of this one now. We get the blocks on the two pigs. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm glad we were in it. Like, that was a supremely awkward draw. It's interesting seeing that game come down to where he was just like one card ahead of us, but we had to throw away our Rek'Sai to try and get ourselves to that point. It's like if we just had something else we could have had on the board, we might have been able to line that up a little bit better. But here, you know, an on-theme unit with the Doombreaker as opposed to the Marshal is like a nice upgrade. And then losing the Rek'Sai, and then we get 2-for-1 at some point. I don't think we did. Like, we had to trade Quicksand for Siphoning Strike, and then our strike worked. Oh boy, the weights are too heavy. There's too much judgment in that hand. Okay. Again, we need these early game plays. Give us some Chronomancers and one-costers. This one's ultimately pretty awkward when we can't even attack until turn 4 with these things. All right, Soothsayer, bring the thunder. You gotta do some lurking for us. Nice. So could not have asked for more out of you, Soothsayer. You have been the superstar today, giving Rek'Sai the. I can't really deal with LeBlanc here. I was gonna say, but giving Rek'Sai the spell shield, and then coming in and well, let's take the Doombreaker. But now getting the lurk and the shutdown here feels pretty good, my man. I appreciate the work you do. All right, so let's throw this back. Well, we're just gonna predict, aren't we? Because if we can't call the pack, play the collar, and play a 1-drop. So let's just go ahead and do it this way. I don't really want to spend like all of these cards on LeBlanc. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that seems good. The only thing that sucks is we don't have like a really good play this turn. Okay, this is fine. The only like worrisome card here would be if they have the Trifarian Glory Seeker. Like a quick attack challenge is not good for us. Oh, wasn't expecting that guy. Okay. All right, no Glory Seeker, please. Okay, none of our burrows can withstand LeBlanc, but this is okay. So the thing that worries me here is if they do have these rando Anivia cards, and so it's like if he has a brittle steel for this attack on the left, this is so bad for us. It doesn't. Okay, Sigil of Malice from the flip. Okay. Ugh. That's okay-ish though. Was that that was probably reputation, so it was cheaper. And so if they spend like the 4 mana on that, it's not as bad. Okay. We can't get 2 down. All right, so we got to start with the Doombreaker. How close is our Rek'Sai? She can't flip unless we unless we hit a Rek'Sai on top of our deck. It's pretty good. Okay. So even if we hit a Lurk, we can't get the Under Titan going unless our Lurk is on top. So we can do this, I think. Under Titan. Then if we predict into Rek'Sai, this is going to be like the biggest of times. Okay. You usually just expect this kind of thing out of Ash. Okay, so what can we do here? We're gonna Scrying Sands pre-combat because our predicts are too good, right? We really need to hit a Lurk here. But who do we put the neg on? I think it's just LeBlanc. And so then the idea here is we have a couple of choices. If we don't hit Rek'Sai, then we can hook LeBlanc with our Rek'Sai, hook a 5/5 with the Doombreaker. Then we're going to have 7, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We're going to be just too short on damage, but... Alright, so we hit an Under Titan. Our Under Titan will have Overwhelm. Oh, you have to have it before the attack? Oh, that's stupid. Still getting the blocks we want, but... Oh no, we don't get the kill on LeBlanc? Oh man, this is a disaster. I just like forever had in my head that she only had 2 health, and I was like, sweet, we could just get the takedown on LeBlanc here. Shit. We're just dead now, aren't we? It's brutal. We fucked that up. Oh, cool. Well, he's at least giving us a shot. Okay, so we can play the collar. Let's see what we hit here first. Rek'Sai. We won't get the joy of having the Rek'Sai units in our hand, but we can get an attack in with her next turn. Now let's play the Weight of Judgment. Okay. And okay. All right. So we should get to attack with a flipped Under Titan and Under Titan and a flipped Rek'Sai. Is this okay? Doesn't matter. So, assuming we don't have a lurk on top, we can just win this with a. Okay, we're good. We can just vulnerable hook LeBlanc. So just check it like this. It says -3, but then we still want to attack with Under Titan. Okay. We got out of that one. Ooh, that was close. Not the best of plays that we've ever made, but our deck carried us there. We set it up like that intentionally, where we wanted that LeBlanc with 1 health. Next level, we're playing 4D chess out here. But what can we do with these? I can't make any of these trades. Again, where we're really hurting is just having these early game plays. We can't have these things to where we're on the even attacks and we get our first attempt at a lurk on the 4th turn. And so, but we're if we're looking to drop our curve, trading out Call the Packs and these cards aren't the way to do it. Okay. You learn from my mistakes. There you go. That's what we're here for. Okay. Fiora is always worrisome with this style of deck. Just when we're having to make all of these plays where we're just trying to slam our units in over and over and over again. There's not a whole lot of interaction while we're at it. It's very easy for them to make barrier plays on us. This is a fantastic start. Hit the lurk like a boss. Okay. So I'm fine with this trade. The thing I think we're fine to just continue adding units and not worry about Call the Pack. We might regret this next turn if we miss on the predict with the Zersai Collar, but I think this is okay. We do have the Rek'Sai in hand that would have doubled up the attack bonuses this turn, but sometimes you just have Rek'Sai on top of your deck. Very nice. What you got for us, GA22? It reminds me, football season's almost here. We started watching the All Hard Knocks show on the HBO. They keep calling a guy 1-1. I get it, that's the number on his jersey, and you probably don't know their name, but it reminded me seeing this guy with 2-2. But where the story's going is that if I don't know if you follow football or not, but last year Dak Prescott savagely broke his ankle. It was gross. And it took a while to kind of like realize how gross it was, and then they started like showing every angle of it, and you really got the full picture of how disgusting his ankle was. And then that was how they started off the season of Hard Knocks. They're following the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott is their is their quarterback, and you just get to spend like the first 5 minutes of the show just seeing like every ankle of this dude's foot turned the wrong way. I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. And then as soon as you think it's over, it's like you look back at the screen and there's like, boom, here's more dangly ankle. It's like, GD, this is ridiculous. But back to the action here. I'm just gonna go ahead and call the pack, so hopefully we find a unit that we can put on the board. We did. Let's just pass. We played a burst, and so we'll see if they add anything or not. Are we okay if this just ends with us banking? I think it's fine. So how do we feel about trading off a Hammersven Snout? I don't really like it. So we'll just take this chunk of damage, and then next turn we can like under Titan with Ancient Hourglass mana. And I think I feel better about that. Well, we were never blocking here, so that's fine. But I guess the question is, do we want to be able to hook with the Under Titan? That's kind of a different story. Maybe we do actually want to pull this off. I like this less now. That was... I was more worried about protecting this Under Titan. We should have just gotten a block in with the Hammer Snout, because he's never getting a block in, or he's just going to trade now. I guess he can hang out for a bit. Hitting the Lurks. Go us. So what we could do here is if we hit another... If we hit a Call the Pack or another Rek'Sai, then we can attack with a flipped Rek'Sai next turn. Or on our next attack token, I should say. Since we have one in hand, we can play one. We can put one on top of our deck. If we hit from that point... Okay, let's just ace this board. If we hit, because we're going to have big units coming in. If we hit from that point, then the Lurk will hit, the Rek'Sai on top of our deck will hit, and then the Rek'Sai on board also counts. Beautiful, beautiful. We have the mana for all that, right? It's only a 5 mana play for Rek'Sai. See, she flips into Call the Pack, Rek'Sai to the top of our deck. Then these will all get +3 attack here. Now, I think I do want to hang on to the Hourglass. We have the choice. We could add the Sharkling. How wrong can this go? They would have to have, like, if they have a single combat, it's just going to be a trade. Okay. We might lethal this way. We probably definitely lethal this way. He has to block Zersai Collar. We got, like, 11 from Rek'Sai and then the bonus from Sharkling. Okay. All the animations and stuff. Get them flips happening. Thank you. Yes. Scary animations. Get in there. Rip. Their card single combat gets him out of this, doesn't it? Mystic Shot? Okay. Big reason why I don't like those Bilgewater Lurkers is just... What is that? His 8 attack one? He put all that work into the big Lurker and just have it get blown up like that. So we need a 5 and a 3 here. You got more Rek'Sais. Cool. Okay. Anything we can trade out here? Soothsayer for Sky Scout is an upgrade. It's just, I don't ever care. Like, this unit doesn't ever do anything. So, it does have the predict attached to it, though. How many of the 3-drops do we have? We only have 3 of the predict 3-drop. Okay, fine. Like, it's just fine. Whatever. I just really want to pick up the 1s and the 2s, but. Stretchy time. All right, here we go. Alrighty. Oh, action ribbon. So what do we got? We got to hang on to our 3. Call the pack is awkward, but I think it's okay. Again, we don't have enough like 1s and 2s to really hard mulligan here. Okay. See if they've got that action. Nope. Alright, that's manageable. I want to keep our mana banked up here as well. We've got this Siphoning Strike, and we want to be playing Call the Pack, so I'm not really interested in just drawing cards from Preservarium right now. I think we need the Collar to continue on moving up the curve, and then the 3-drop next turn is good anyways, in the sense that we can play both the 3-drop and Weight of Judgment. I was going to say, interesting block. Okay, I'm gonna say if this gets a combat trick, I'm kind of okay with it. Okay. Oh, we need a dude. I mean, I guess if it comes down to it, we can like call the pack to the top of our deck. Ruin Runners are just so expensive here. Kind of leaning towards either taking Quicksand or just letting it all go. I think we probably want the Quicksand. It's a little bit of interactivity. Is he just trying to be clever here? I mean, I think we still just have to run out the Weight of Judgment and kind of hope. You just like always have a trick here though, right? I think this is okay, even if it goes wrong. Can't add to the board. His blocks aren't good for our open attack. Okay, and then it just worked. Uh-oh, stuff's happening. 2 for 1? Okay. Now, this is so invested in this. Would we rather just go ahead and play a Quicksand here? Or just let the trade happen and add more units? I think this... We have the Quicksand with, like... I'd like to counterspell a Siphoning Strike with this if we can. I think that's okay. Can use Call the Pack. Okay. We have a Lurker in our hand. Do we just go for it here? Like, this is again like another ultra greedy play, but like we either have to play Call the Pack and hope we hit units, or the Siphoning Strike needs to work. And I mean, his action did just fall in combat, so I'd say maybe he's out of tricks. Okay, we're about to get blasted for damage here, but we're at least recovering on board. His board is horrible after this turn. We're going to take 8, 11, fall to 3. Oh, cool. Could not have asked for a better turn. Okay, though we gotta have good call the packs. This stupid card is so bad. So let's start with a card draw. Well, if we call the pack and hit a 5, though, that's pretty positive. All right, dudes, we can play. Okay, I think we might be able to get him with a quicksand next turn. Let's see. And the important one here is actually blocking the Ruin Runner, I think. Let's see what they do. Oh man, he could just burst off the Sandstone Charger as well. Yeah, that's probably... Whoa, that was less damage. Take us to 3. Alright, alright. Things are happening. Let's start with the Preservarium and see what we draw. I think we're just going to end up playing the Hammer Snout. I want to save Zilean for next turn for the potential predict. Or I guess we can like predict something to the top of this turn, but the stupid Snapjaw Swarm's not big enough to take anything down. How many more times do we need to call it stupid? Sure. We do have this big old Chrono Shift Zilean play we can get to making. Still only got 7 mana after this.
Time is winding, like a watch.
You know real value when you see it, my friend.
It's like we need to get something going on here. I mean, I guess we can do this, right? We can add the Snapjaw Swarm. We're not going to Chrono Shift this turn, so let's add the Swarm. We're going to hit a Lurk. He's either going to block it or put damage on something. Oh. Wow. Could not have asked for better. Spell Shield. Does he have some way to give these things Overwhelm? I don't think so. Okay. All right. We're still going to be short next turn, though. No, we're not. We can take down his unit now. Get him, get him, Big Daddy Zilean. Get in there with that noise. Oh man. And the Spirit Fire. Oh snap. Oh snap.
Must be nice living off stolen coin.
Who do we got? We can just switch over to Rek'Sai now, right? Come on. Fucking boomerang blades. Okay, so I mean, we're just done for now, right? We could, if we had the mana, we could both Spirit Fire and Scrying Sands this thing, but Boomerang Blade is not really a card that was on my radar here. Take it down to 3 attack. Only have 1 blocker. F. Ah, man, we were so close to coming right back into that one, too. Damn. 1 mana short. Alright, well, let's see if we can improve. Well, the Scythe Scout for the collar is an improvement, and we're not improving the trade, not getting to trade out the cards we actually want. This has been, I don't want to call it a disaster, but we definitely don't need 6 Weight of Judgments in our deck. The old Nightfall deck, haven't seen this in the past 8 years. It's been a while since the Nightfall was coming out here. Alright. Yeah, make noises. There we go. Alright, we're back. I can never decide if I want to stop the video to sneeze or if I want to just mute it. I opted for mute at that time. Go hard. Wow. Okay, wasn't expecting that one. Would we have hit our lurk here? Would not have. Hey, this guy's got it all today. What can we predict? Probably just want to continue on with the collars. Don't want to be adding in 6 drops at this point. Okay. His aggression has stopped. Not super worried about this guy making value plays. It's just these big aggressive Diana draws that are what's scary to me. Okay. So we got to get a unit on board. It's going to be the collar. Kind of like to hit call the pack here. Did not. Can add Zilean next turn, which is not super interesting. So next turn we're probably just going to be playing Ruin Runner. If that's the case, it's like I'd kind of like to pick up Spirit Fire just as a means to have a bit of interactivity here. And they tend to be okay against the Nightfall decks. It doesn't seem like he's doing a whole lot of Nightfalling here, but we'll have some potential goodness.
Chase what you want without mercy.
Okay. Gonna hit us with a Nocturne. It's tough for him to have units that trade with this. With the Ruin Runner, they kind of need a Crescent Guardian or a Nocturne. Get the Cascade? That's fine. Do we wanna protect here? Kinda like it. We of course missed our lurks. We are the unluckiest people 2021. Can't catch a break today. So tiny, Rek'Sai. You're so tiny. Interesting. You really ready to just start doing 3 damage to stuff? Oh, I wanted a Nightfall. Okay. Alright, we'll add a unit. I assume he's going to deal 3 damage to our Zersai collar. Oh, Diana. Okay. He gets the free hook onto the collar. That's okay.
I cannot turn back. I will be heard.
Alright, so where do we stand in terms of getting this Rek'Sai flipped? It's like I want to make this Siphoning Strike happen. That's all we really got going on for this turn. We should probably just start with this. The Siphoning Strike, since our unit has the spell shield. I don't want them getting overly clever here. Okay. And we have to make an attack here. We're getting so close to getting these Rek'Sai flips going, and I feel like we're just going to get like a really good Spirit Fire. If he has the Pale Cascade here, it's completely fine. Oh, huge. Huge. I mean, if he hits it with like the 3 damage moon weapon, then that's completely acceptable. Takes so much time to do all that stuff. Okay. Can't wait of Judgment the Olaphelios anymore. he's too big for those shenanigans. Okay. I was thinking if we wanted to set up like a Spirit Fire and a Weight of Judgment onto him, but I don't think it's going to come together. It's a little scary adding this unit to the board, but he's never going to Moon Weapon off the hatchling. The old double stun. Okay, we got to take this thing down, and then I don't think that there's a lot of value in coming in with the Spirit Fire here. It's like if we're getting in, well, maybe we do have to. Oh, we don't have the mana now, anyways. Fall to 6. Okay. Maybe we'll get Aphelios with a Spirit Fire. Gotta pop that spell shield first. Alright, so we can make that same flip attack here if he doesn't interact with Rek'Sai in any way. Okay, perfect. Call the pack. Rek'Sai, attack. Yeah, I think I want to do it now before he has the chance to get into shenanigans. We can only add 1 Lurker to the board, though. I saw those ones that came up, and they all cost 5 or more. I guess we can add 2 4s. But the problem with the Hammer Snout is we can use the Hammer Snout to give Aphelios vulnerable, but then we can't. It doesn't pop his spell shield. So I'm kind of leaning here towards just adding Under Titan and then having Spirit Fire for next turn. We can Spirit Fire either way. Yeah, I think this is good. We at least get to bank up a little bit of extra mana here. Lifesteal has been granted.
From darkness, light.
See, doesn't have the little circle on the ability, so it doesn't pop the spell shield. 11 minus 4, we can survive that. Who would we want to Hammer Snout, though? Okay. And then can we just lethal here now? Rek'Sai on top. Oh, let's swing it back this way. Do we actually want these units to be able to come in for damage though? Like his units have such tiny health. I think I like this. Let's swing it back this way. We'll put the spell shielded one in front of Aphelios. It's the kind of scary thing here. Okay. Right, well, this is how we're getting in the most damage. Oof. Oof, good stuff. Good stuff. Let's get ourselves into that final battle. That was some clutch top deck in there right at the end. Ooh, good stuff. So, alright, let's see what we can do here. Hopefully we can get an upgrade. And it's like, why won't it let us trade a card that costs more than 3 mana? Like, one time, game. One time. Alright, we gotta at least upgrade the Preservarium into a hatchling. This is just like so many, like converting like 6.5s into 7s as opposed to turning like our 4s into 6s. It's like getting half of a point of an upgrade instead of a 2-point upgrade. So these trades are all garbage. Why would we ever want stone weaving? So, why do we need 7 weight of judgments? Come on, game. All right, Zilean for Nasus, don't want to do. These trades are all absurd. This is like the lowest of rolls I've ever seen. Like, why would we want to trade out these ones? Or we can trade Ruin Runner for Kahiri, which is just garbage. Okay, well, at least we get... I don't even want this thing. He's just such a bad unit. Alright, but I think we have 2 Chrono Shifts, though. We do a fair amount of predicting. Maybe we'll do something with Kahiri. Who knows? Insane. Like, the entirety of, like, the trade period, all I've wanted to do was trade out Weight of Judgments, and it's just... not a single time. It's a full... It's a full, like, almost 20% of our deck. It's insane. Alright. Alright, game. If that's how you're gonna be. We got a nice curve here. As much as they tried to F with us, they still at least get a decent curve. This is Tarek Ziver. I see Noxus Shurima every time and just assume it's going to be an action deck, but... hopefully we can take advantage of this. They tend to not be as early game centric as the action decks. Okay. All right, Zilean, do your thing. Rek'Sai. All right. Well, you're welcome to block if you'd like. I do worry about quick attack challengers coming down. So if he just takes this damage, it's going to be a little on the scary side of things. Since he's thinking about it, I don't think we have to worry about it. But like if he had a Trifarian Hopeful in his hand, he would have just snapped, taken 3 damage. All right. Well. You served us valiantly, Zilean, but you have fallen to the merciless hunter. As who was the newest one? Oh, they just spoiled Vigar, however you pronounce him, and that was essentially the thing. It's like, oh, sweet, just another unit that gets completely eaten by a merciless hunter. Great design here. Alright, well, we're going to continue down this path. Let's see if we find a cheap play. We did. Have a value hook onto this Blade Squire. Okay, and if we get to trade off for the Merciless Hunter, I think that's okay. Oof. Okay, that's fine. I would have liked to have had a unit on the board, but he at least probably doesn't get to add units here, right? He's only got 1 mana. Don't think I care about the Mountain Goat. So let's predict. This is one of these turns where if we hit a call the pack, or if we hit a another Rek'Sai, then we can flip her on the attack. I'm just going to skip over all these. Like, we already have the Weight of Judgment. Our opponent can't do anything too scary. Like, he can, like, vulnerable our dude here. But, yeah, quick attack, absolutely. Not scary at all. Cool. Let's see what our deck has shuffled to the top. Only the best of cards, I'm sure. Weight of Judgment. So how greedy are we willing to be here? If we play Rek'Sai and there's a Lurker on top. Oh no, we have to have a Rek'Sai on top. But would we rather just be out here playing like Call the Packs? Let's see what happens here. Let's start with the Weight of Judgment. Well, I don't like that either. Let's do this. I'm just going to pass. This could be a turn for a decent Spirit Fire. There's potential for that to happen. Okay, Siphoning Strike. Perfect. Shouldn't be too much in the way of combat tricks coming out of them. Can have, there is that like 4 mana strike card. Oh no, oh Bastion. Okay, well, we can at least manage that. Be sweet if he just passed. You're like 100% attacking with this Tusk Raider, right? But if we block it, we prevent 3 damage. So I'm just gonna block the Mountain Goat and then take it down with a Weight of Judgment. Or we could do this and take 1 additional damage. That takes us to 6. Oh, okay, this takes us to 5. Were we too greedy? Should we have done the Weight of Judgment first? Well, we would have been in the same spot, right? He would have just bastioned through it. The Rek'Sais are at 7, which is slightly awkward. But I think this is okay. The Doombreaker is a pretty tough unit to interact with. Ooh. That does not seem positive. Okay, I'm happy to trade now if that's what he wants to do. Seems like he's trying to be up to some kind of like combat trick shenanigans, but... Or he's trying to line up Overwhelm Kill next turn. That's what would make sense, right? Just saying, okay, I have to win the game next turn. Yeah. Uh-oh, is he going to try and get a challenge and then do like a Overwhelm challenge onto our Zersai Collar? Okay, okay. Let's see what you're about. Do we Weight of Judgment or do we just play Rek'Sai? I think we can Weight of Judgment here. This is okay. Could have another one. Those mathematics don't work out. Okay. Is that enough? Does he just get to swing in with the open now? So we can turn this into a 2 and a 7. That would be 9. I think we can survive this. He's just going for the bonus attacks. Not spell shield. Quick attack, that's fine. Gems makes sense. Alright, well, what's our mathematical problem up to here now? Alright, let's see if this is enough. Are we dead? Neg 1. Ugh, we needed to get that exhaust off. Ugh. Maybe... Huh. That would have done it. We would have certainly won the game after that point as well. So maybe we should have... Well, not certainly. It would have been close. We would have had Rek'Sai down. We could have drawn actual any card. Since we had 2 Rek'Sais, we could call the pack that, and then it would just depend on what we hit. And so the game wasn't over, but I think the other kind of like downside to that is if you're able to come in and get an exhaust kill on the next turn. So if you say, if they have like, a 1 health unit on the board and a 6 health unit, and you're able to exhaust the small one to get an overwhelm attack in, that's kind of the other downside to having to discard exhaust. But not a bad trial, that was some real gotcha moments there at the end between having to play against Bastion and having to have the Targon shield save his unit from the 7 damage. Like that was a pretty spectacular way to save himself there. But well played, opponent. You got there in the end. And so, yeah, I thought this turned out okay. We didn't actually draft around Zilean, but this, in my mind, is how you kind of like want to end up with Rek'Sai. She has some problems if you take Rek'Sai as your first champion, as you can like get stuck in a second faction, right? You don't really want to be in a non-Shurima faction when you're out here drafting Rek'Sai. It's okay, like it's serviceable. You can get like some minor combos going, and you can kind of fill in some of the gaps to where this deck is missing things, as far as like the middling removal spells and the interactivity are where this really lacks. But ideally, you want your Rek'Sais to be 100% Shurima, and so you tends to be a champion that you really like to take second. So if it's like, oh cool, we started out with Zilean, we can take Rek'Sai, or even hell, we started out with Talia, now we can take Rek'Sai. It's just kind of the way it goes with her. But the first and foremost, the biggest thing that you can ever do with any of these Lurkers decks that has Rek'Sai in it, especially if you're taking her first, just don't take Bilgewater. That is how you get to being these good decks. This was a pretty good one. Like giving like how low we rolled on like every single trade throughout the entirety of the draft. Like look at this, like pre-science for Spiritfire, okay, that's an upgrade. Time in a bottle for Xerxai Hatchling, okay, that's an upgrade. But then like from that point forward, it's like, yes, we don't want inspired marshals, soothsayers, or Psy Scouts, but like we just never had the opportunity to trade away like Chrono Shift. We had to pick up a Kahiri at the cost of a Chrono Shift. We can't trade away any of these 6 Weight of Judgments. Like we're really looking for these early game cards, whether or not it's like Chronomancer, Hatchling, just anything to play in the first couple of turns, so you can try to get the lurks going. But that was a bit of an aside. I got a little upset about our low rolling here, but that is of course the big thing here is avoid Bilgewater, and then if you do find yourself like drafting a Pike, if you took the Lurkers Pike, or if you took Predict Lurkers Pike with your first pick, then Rek'Sai is an acceptable second pick as well. That's the kind of like second tier of Lurkers decks, in my opinion, is being like, okay, I had to first pick Bilgewater. Let's at least try to course correct with some Rek'Sais here. because the Bilgewater ones are just so bad, right? There's the one cost one has 2 health, and so it just trades with everything. There's that stupid auto attack fish that you just rarely want, and then there's the card that puts auto attack fish on top of your deck. Like the commons are so abysmally bad, and then even if you do overcome that, like how do you actually win a game? You just have to get wider than your opponent because you don't have anything that can survive a combat, and so you just have to hope like, okay, I've curved like 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 with a bunch of hatchlings and shark lurkers just to get wider than your opponent. It's abysmal. I really don't like the Bilgewater half of these cards, and so that, again, to circle back, is the tier 1 choice you can make with Rek'Sai, is to avoid Bilgewater. Other than that, try to keep your curve low, and then as far as your top end, you're just really looking for like 4 or 5 of these big lurkers, whether or not it's the Under Titan or the Doombreaker. You don't really care. These are your preferred late game. Ruin Runner can slot in as your additional Overwhelmer in the late game, but you do want to stay away from things like Kahiri. You want to stay away from things like Sandstone Chimera. It's just these big dudes without Overwhelm aren't good game closers. And so other than that, this is looking pretty good. It's pretty straightforward. Try to find some ways to interact. That is where your opponents tend to get you. Is you're really good at adding a bunch of stats to the board, but then if your opponent's getting like quick attack challenges, that was so scary in so many of those games. If our opponents had quick attack challenges, because you're just out here trading like 1-for-1 back and forth and trying to get a little bit more width than they can handle with your call the packs. And so if you start getting value hits, then you've just kind of lost the game. And so that is the big thing to look for after that, is finding some way to interact with your opponent. It's very easy to pick up a ton of Weight of Judgments because there's only 4 commons in the Shurima Lurkers, but you prefer to have some exhausts, have some Ruthless Predators, any of the dudes that pass out vulnerable. All the vulnerable mechanics live in Shurima, so you can hopefully find something. That's why we were so excited to pick up this singular exhaust. But nonetheless, I think that is going to do it for us today. There's no rewards here, but I think we got a weekly chest to click on. A couple of loot boxes, hells yeah. Got this essence pouch. One more. Yeah, I think it would be 2 days from when this video is released is when here the jury rig mixing unit is when they spoiled Vigar, and I can't remember if it was like the first comment on the Twitter thread or how long it took to see it, but it was just like immediately someone putting a picture of Merciless Predator up there with Vigar and being like, "Yep, this is what you get for being a 1/4." I can't believe that they did that. That's so insane that Merciless Hunter was decided to be a reasonable card. Just aces so many strategies. I mean, maybe that's a requirement for making the format healthy. I don't know, but just so many units that fail the Merciless Hunter test. Okay, we're getting down here to the end. Let's see if we can't pick up something cool. Still remember our 3 champion pack from a few weeks ago, and so we can't complain too much about what's showing up here. We got a few more weeks before we're allowed to complain. Ugh, okay. Oh, that's not. I can't remember if we've got the complete collection from the first set. I have to see. I might have to go and purchase a card. Let me go and check that real quick and see if we can't be 100% on the release set. Where are we at? I don't even remember how to get there. 1 second. Let's see. All right, is it this button? No. This button? No. These aren't buttons. Click on this. Where are we at? Collection. Foundations at 99%. What are we missing? 2 rares? Oh man, is there a way to figure it out? Collection. Cards. Foundations. Rare. Guess we just got to scroll through until we see. Let's 100% out this collection. That's appropriate with the new set coming out here. It's these assembly bots, huh? Couple of assembly bots. Alrighty, I think that's gonna do it. Give me an achievement. Give me an achievement, game. Where are we at? Let's see it. Let's at least see it say 100%. Complete. We did it. Look at that. The rising tides are almost there as well. So is Call of the Mountain. Maybe that's what we'll do out of these next few videos. Is we'll level these up until we get all the way to the 100%ers. But nonetheless, that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the trial. You learned how to lurk a little bit better. Maybe you learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.